Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the video that I have been waiting to make. Some people have been waiting to see or have asked me to see. But today I'm going to be showing off the samurai build, the god build. All right, the all defensive slash attack build. Now, this build right here, it's not just for defense and staying alive, but you will deal out a ton of damage as well. So let's get right into it. All right, here we got the build. Now, I'm going to go over everything and explain everything. And we're just going to start from the beginning. Number 1, Master's Katana, Legendary Sword. Allows switching between any stance with R2. Whatever, yeah. Allows to switch between any stance. Why do I use this sword? Well, having every stance, especially as the samurai, is so clutch because with the samurai, you're meant to just go all out. You jump into the battle, you go crazy no matter who you're fighting. And I feel like you have to be able to fight good against anything. So you want to be able to take out shield guys quick. You want to be able to get that instant parry against those spear guys. You want to be able to take out those sword guys quick with a nice little stone stance. You just want to be able to get into it and just stagger anybody no matter what. Now for the stats, the modifications we got. These modifications right here, this build is going to be very focused on resolve gain and your ultimate damage. So melee resolve gain plus 10, ultimate damage plus 20. You want to get those two at the max. And I think for legendaries, whenever you re-roll one of these slots, it always does the max amount, because every time I was re-rolling, I kept getting the max while I was trying to get ultimate damage until I finally got it and it gave me plus 20. So I think for legendaries that you get the max percentage or number no matter what. So you definitely want melee resolve gain and ultimate damage for this build, because you want to gain that resolve fast as hell so you can use that ultimate, and you want to increase the ultimate's damage. This build is very focused on staying alive, and you want these two right here. Now for the perk, I have intimidating counter, because the perfect parry, when you actually get a perfect parry, it comes in clutch. If there's someone behind you about to attack, if you get a perfect parry, it kind of like backs them up a little bit, rather than just a normal parry. And that 50% doing extra damage also, like, it kind of like slows them down. Even if they're not about to attack, it kind of like pushes them back a little bit, so then you could go into them if you get the instant kill from the parry, for example. I like intimidating counter a lot. But if you're someone who you don't get perfect parries very often, and you think this will be useless for you because, like I said, you don't get perfect parries, then I would go for Burning Blade. Way of the Flame is cool because you can activate it, but the problem that I have with Way of the Flame is the fact that, well, you have to activate it. So if you're in the middle of a fight especially in Nightmare mode, and you're surrounded by an army of people, if you have to go out of your way to stop your combos or whatever, to press R1 in circle, do the little animation to activate the fire, just for it to last like 5 seconds, and then you have to wait for the cooldown, I think it's not really worth it compared to Burning Blade, which has a chance to apply the burning effect already. So you don't have to do nothing, it's just always there. A lot of times when I've had Burning Blade in the past, it has activated, like, I'd say for me a good 30-40% of the time. Like, it's pretty often how much the burning actually happens. I've seen some people say it almost never happens for them. They say like 1 in 10 chance. But personally, I've seen Burning Blade like pop up a lot when using it. But I like intimidating counter because I tend to get a lot of perfect parries. I like to wait and like go for the perfect parry for that extra damage. Is getting a perfect parry, man, it really helps on damage. It really does. But that's the weapon, the Master's Katana, for all the stances, intimidating counter, melee resolve game, and ultimate damage. This is the perks you want on this sword. And now, if you personally do not want to use this sword, let's say you don't care to have all stances, But if you don't care about all stances, I would suggest having moon and water. I don't have a moon and water blade, but this Yushitsune's hand is a pretty good sword. It gives you stance water already, and staggering a target has 30% chance to knock down. So if you mix this and you can re-roll the perk at the bottom for moon stance, this sword wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be too bad because you get the moon stance for the brutes, which there's a lot of, especially in Nightmare. And you still got the water for... Water works pretty good against almost everything. It honestly does. Water, the only thing water I'd say is not too good against is spears. And spears in Nightmare survival are a very, very big problem. They're annoying. All right, if you've played Nightmare Survival, you know those blue purple spear guys. They're annoying. They're annoying as hell. That's why I like to have all stances so I can deal with all enemy types. But Master's Katana, you see the perks. That's what we're rolling with next. The half bow. Now I'm gonna be honest. The half bow I don't really care too much about because I don't use it. My aim sucks. I don't really like. I like to use my sword. I don't like really using the arrow. But the perks I would say you should have on this, which I currently don't have because I just reforged it to get to 110. Because like I said, I don't care about the bow too much since I don't use it. But when I do actually re-roll it, definitely go for range resolve gain. And then whatever else you want, that's up to you. But range resolve gain, you see the possible outcomes. Go for that. Because range attacks and rage kills, you want to get as much resolve as possible. Now, I did have range resolve gain before I reforged it, like I said. And as you see in the top right, I'm kind of broke right now. I don't got much money. But range resolve gain, pretty fire. Especially if you just, you just land a quick hit to get that resolve up there. It'll come in clutch. And you know what? I'm going to try it. Let's see. Let's go for the reroll. Let's do it. Oh, we ain't getting nothing. We're going to keep reload speed though. All right, now I really am broke. This right here is the most important thing in this build. Like, this samurai charm, it's beautiful. Why? Because of that red perk you see at the bottom. Blessed Strikes. Dealing melee damage heals you while Spirit Pool or Exploding Blade is active. This ability, when I tell you guys, it is strong. All right, it is strong. It will save your life. You mix this with Exploding Blade and you're going to deal massive damage while healing yourself, especially when you activate your ultimate right after using Explosive Blade. It's crazy. It's strong. You will gain all your health back as long as you hit 5 enemies with your ultimate. Your health is coming all the way back up. Doesn't matter who you hit. It also regenerates a decent amount of health when you get a kill. And it's just overall good. And it makes the siphoning ability useless. Like, you don't even need siphoning, whatever you call it. See, I don't even care about the name because you don't need it. Explosive Blade plus Blessed Strikes equals extra damage and lifesteal. It's crazy. Now moving on to the perks that it has, or whatever you call these, the properties. There you go. 2 properties. Once again, melee resolve gain and ultimate damage. Now my melee resolve gain is 9.1. I still need to re-roll to get my ultimate damage higher. So I'm going to have to re-roll the samurai charm a bit more to try to get the ultimate damage up to 20 so I could get that 40% extra ultimate damage and that 20% melee resolve gain. But it's kind of hard with these purples. They don't really have a good chance of getting it maxed. So if I could get ultimate damage to at least 16 to 18%, I would be happy. The melee resolve gain is cool, but as you see here, I had to re-roll to actually get the melee resolve gain. So I'm going to have to re-roll the whole thing if I want the ultimate damage to be higher, sadly. But you see it, melee resolve gain, ultimate damage. Just with these 2 alone, I'm already going crazy. So imagine when I get these higher, get that ultimate damage to at least 18%. We're going to be going crazy. We're going to be going crazy with this build. This is a raid ready build. Next, we're going to move on to the dirt throw. Now, the dirt throw is great. I used to use the sticky bombs. I'm not going to lie. They were cool, but the cooldown is way too long, the sticky bomb. Dirt throw has a 40-second cooldown. Now, what properties should you build on this dirt throw? Cooldown reduction and cooldown reduction on kill. because you want to get this dirt throw as much as possible so you can keep using it, keep spamming it, easily stagger enemies with the dirt throw. Crazy damage. Crazy. And you fire them up, light them on fire. You can honestly go fired up or weakened, depends on what you want. I wouldn't go for lucky. Only a 15% chance to instantly reset cooldown seems useless to me when you can have it fire up or weaken enemies. I like to go with the fire personally because it spreads fire to like multiple targets and kind of like messes with them a little bit. But you could go weaken if you want. I go with fire personally. But for these two properties, I definitely believe, and I got very lucky with my rerolls. I got 15% cooldown reduction and 3.9 cooldown reduction on kill. That's just 0.1 second behind the 4. This, guys, when I tell you this cooldown brings it down so much. So with the cooldown reduction alone, the 15%, it brings the cooldown to 34 seconds with the 15%. So now you're only having to wait 34 seconds to use your dirt throw. On top of every time you get a kill, you get rid of 3.9 seconds, basically 4 seconds. You're getting rid of 4 seconds off that cooldown. So imagine if you pop your ult after using dirt throw and you get a good 3 kills in that ult. That's what? 4, 8, 12. That's 12 seconds off. So you went 34 minus 12, which is 22. Now you're only waiting 22 seconds for your dirt throw to come back. Crazy. You got this cooldown. You want to get this dirt throw fast because it's so good, especially to easily stagger enemies. It's good to stop those spear guys in Nightmare. You want to stop them from spamming those red attacks that I know you guys know who I'm talking about. That's why I got dirt throw. Cooldown reduction plus 15. Cooldown reduction on kill 3.9. Try to get it as high as you can. But lastly, the ghost weapon number 2, which is the healing gourd. Why do I use the healing gourd? Why would I use it if I have lifesteal? Because you can never go wrong with more health. Now, I know a lot of people like to run these cow chops for the cripple enemies and stuff, but trust me when I tell you, especially in nightmare mode, you won't always be able to rely on your Ronins to heal you all the time. As a samurai, especially in nightmare, if you want to hold down all those objectives and not lose one for the challenge, you're going to need to be able to go and solo a point. You're not going to be able to do this if you can't heal yourself because you will get hit. As good as anyone can be, you will get hit in nightmare mode unless you're just some sort of crazy god. You're going to take some damage. But here's the beauty of the healing gourd. On top of healing ourselves for 25 health and strong brew, you definitely want strong brew for your perk because sudden resolve, it only refills the first resolve. And with the build we're going, our resolve refills fast. So we don't even need this first resolve. You'll probably end up using this and already have a resolve, so then this just becomes useless. Lucky, once again, only 15% chance, not worth it. Strong brew, heals you for extra 50% health. Makes a difference. All the health, the better. And for the properties, we have damage reduction. Now my damage reduction, I know it's only 5.7. All right, it's low. Definitely want to get that damage reduction as high as possible and that injured resolve gain as high as possible because you'll be taking damage and getting a whole bunch of resolve for getting hit, and you'll be taking less damage on these hits. This is important because it just adds on to your resolve gain more and more, which is going to allow you to use your ultimate more and more. And that's where all our damage is going to be because our charm gives us plus 14% ultimate damage. Our weapon gives us plus 20. Hopefully you get better rerolls, you get this ultimate damage higher. Right now I got plus 34%. I would love to get it plus 40%. That ultimate damage goes crazy, and then you mix it with the explosive blade. It's just crazy, the damage. It is insane. If you get 2 purple Oni guys down to half health, you can probably take them both out with the ultimate. It's crazy. This build right here, ultimate survivor / damage build. Telling you guys, it's a great build. Let's move on to the techniques. Here's our techniques. So first, we got explosive blade. Like I said, with the blessed strikes perk that we get from our samurai charm, it makes spirit pull completely useless because what's the point of spirit pulling a tiny bit of health when we can be doing massive damage? And honestly, the spirit pull, it takes no health away from the enemy. It really doesn't. This is why we have explosive blade, because not only are we going to be dealing extra damage, but with the blessed strike, we're going to be getting extra damage. We're going to be getting extra health off the damage we're dealing. So you're dealing extra damage and healing on top of that. Beautiful. And explosive blade also impacts people who are nearby. So if you hit someone and there's someone next to them who's about to hit you, you hit them with explosive blade, the other one backs up. It's just all around better than Spirit Pool, especially in the higher ranks. You definitely want explosive blade. Second, like I said, since this is a tanky survivor build, we're going with increased health by 25 because you can't go wrong with extra health, you know, especially in Nightmare. You get hit hard, you get hit multiple successions. You don't want to die in an instant, so you want to be able to take some hits. So get the extra health plus 25 plus that extra damage reduction. Just, you know, you take some damage. Increase melee by 10%, you know, only 10% doesn't really feel worth it when you could get extra 25 health. This, what do you even need? Because the cooldown is already 36 seconds. It's very short. Next, we got lightning reflexes. You want to be able to parry arrows. I'm sorry, but you need this, especially in Nightmare Survival. If you have played Nightmare, you see these teleporting arrow guys everywhere. And if you're on the point and you can't afford to get off because you might lose it, you're going to have to block these arrows when they come from outside. You got to listen to their little call out. You see the enemies ducking down. You just hold L1 and you just parry all them arrows and go back to doing your fight. And it will save your life. It will give you a much better time. You can also block fire arrows too, which is another plus. You're getting shot by those fire arrows can be a pain. They can do a lot of damage. So if you can block all of them, it's amazing. You can also block arrows from behind. So if an arrow is coming from behind you, you can block it still. You don't have to turn around and look at it. All around, I feel like this is the best out of this bunch. Here you get increased parry and dodge window when at low health. But with this build, you're not going to be at low health much because you're going to be busy life stealing. You have your health gourd. You're not really going to be at low health much unless you're in like a bad situation. And honestly, I feel like here you shouldn't really rely on this extra parry dodge window. This will be more skill based. I think you should, you know, rely on your skills to get these dodges and get these parries. Increase max resolve by 1. We don't need this. What's the point of having extra resolve when we get to block arrows? Come on, be realistic. Last one. Hachiman's Frenzy. You want this, all right? I know Heavenly Strike, it's a cool move. Only costs 1 resolve. It's kind of tempting. It's like, oh, I could use this 3 times. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. But think about it like this. You can only use this 3 times. And the damage is nowhere near as much as Hachiman's Fury because this is your ultimate. And we already have plus 40% ultimate damage. This isn't our ultimate. So this already, these 3 strikes alone, if you don't have this, do more than these 3 strikes. On top of that, we're going to gain extra 2 strikes. So we're going to deal 5 hits of incredible damage with the cost of only 3 resolve. Why would you want Heavenly Strike? Why? So Hachiman's Frenzy, 100% gain 2 extra strikes. Yes, please. I've seen so many samurai with only 3 strikes because they're using Heavenly Strike and they're always dying. It's like, why? Don't do it. Don't do it. I know Heavenly Strike is cool. It's pretty good. You can finish someone off who's low in an instant. But I don't think it's worth replacing Hachiman's Frenzy, gaining those 2 extra strikes. It's just too good, especially if you're fighting an Oni and you're in like a bad situation. You could take out one of the spear guys in 1 full 5-hit combo. I don't think you can do that with a 3. So definitely Hachiman's Fury, rank 11. Wait, what? Hachiman's Fury gains 2 extra strikes. And then you got the increased legendary items. You don't really need 2 legendaries. No point of having that. As much as tempting as it may be to, you know, oh, I get to wear 2 legendaries. Nah, you don't need this. And that's about it. I think that about wraps up this build video. If you want to try out this build yourself, I'll go over everything one last time, show off all the stuff. Hopefully this build helps you guys out if you decide to try it. If you have any other builds that you think might be better, you know, feel free to say it in the comments below, or what you would put in this build instead. You know, maybe you have different ideas, maybe you build different. I'm curious. I am curious to how you guys build your samurai. This is how I build mine. It has proved to be successful, and it's still not at its ultimate form yet. Once we get this ultimate damage plus 20%, melee resolve gain plus 10, if that ever happens, if we ever get to that point, oh my lord, it's over. It is gonna be over for all these Onis. Cooldown reduction on the dirt throw with the fired up. And last but not least, the healing gore to come in the clutch and just heal yourself with the extra resolve gain and damage reduction. You just can't go wrong with this build. You're tanky, and at the same time, you're dealing massive damage with your ult. And you're being able to stagger every enemy with this sword. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a little like, it don't take too much time. You just, scroll down, leave a little like. I appreciate it. If you don't want to, I get it. But if you do want to see more, feel free to subscribe as well, and I'll be posting more Ghost of Tsushima stuff. I hope you guys have a good, wonderful, marvelous, beautiful, great, amazing, stupendous, gorgeous, just have a great morning, man. Peace out, guys, and thank you for watching.